Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing my Portuguese Grand Prix predictions. This is based on no DNF, so I don't want to wish anything like that on anyone. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So in P20 I'm going to go with Nikita Mazepin, DNF'd in Bahrain and got P17 in Imola, but everyone behind him was DNF'd. And in the first two practice sessions it's been P20, so I wouldn't really expect much more. P19, I'm going to go with his teammate, Mick Schumacher. P16 in both his first two races, beating his teammate. And in practice 2, he actually beat his teammate and Williams to finish P18 in both. And moving on to P18 now, I'm going to go with Nicolas Latifi. He DNF'd in both the first two races. He DNF'd quite late on in Bahrain, but in Imola he DNF'd quite early on, and then both practice 2s he was 19th in a Haas sandwich. P17, Antonio Giovinazzi finished P12 and P14, although he was beaten by his teammate both times. In FP1 he was replaced by the new reserve driver Callum Ilott, finished 17th, and in FP2 Giovinazzi was back in the car and also finished 17th. P16, I'm going to go with his teammate Kimi Raikkonen. P11 in Bahrain, P13 in Imola. Good scores for an Alfa Romeo. P15 and P16 in the first practice sessions is alright. P15 for Fernando Alonso might be a bit controversial. DNF'd in his first race due to a sandwich bag. And then P10 after some penalties in Imola. He was 14th in first practice 1, which is where we'd expect him, but then he was 5th in practice 2, which was a bit surprised. His teammate was also up there, so who knows where Alpine might finish this week. P40 I'm going to go with George Russell. I'd expect him to be around this mark most of the season. Last week at Imola he was had a decent race up until obviously the incident with Bottas. I don't want to say whose fault it was, but it was always going to be tricky on a wet track. So he finished P14 in Bahrain, obviously DNF'd in Imola. P7 in FP1, which is a great result for him, and then P13 for FP2 is where we'd expect him. P13, I'm going to go with Sebastian Vettel. He finished 15th in both his first two races, despite DNFing in Imola. He was classified 15th. In FP1 he was 16th and FP2 he was 15th. He hasn't really showed his true colours in the Aston Martin yet, but his teammate seems to be getting to grips with the car, so hopefully we'll see some decent results from him. P12 I'm going to go with Esteban Ocon. He finished P13 in Bahrain, P9 in Imola. Obviously Bahrain he was hit by Vettel, so probably picked up some damage. However, in Imola he had a decent race, and a much better qualifying, finished P9, and in practice 1 he finished 10th, which is decent, and P6 in FP2, which is really good for Alpine, so maybe he'll be up there again. P11 now, I'm going to go with Lance Stroll. He finished 10th in his first race in Bahrain and 8th in Imola. Aston Martin still, we haven't seen as good results from them yet, but hopefully they will turn it around. FP1 he was in 11th and FP2 he was in 9th, so comfortably in the top 10 in FP2, but whether he'll be in there in the race, I'm not sure. P10 I'm going to go Yuki Tsunoda. He had a great debut at Bahrain, finished 9th. In Imola though, it didn't really go right for him. It was his first race on that track, although he had done quite a lot of testing there, and he kind of messed it up in qualifying really. He crashed on his first flying lap, and severe damage to his Alpha Tauri. But however, he did manage to claw back to 12th, but not enough for points. He was 13th and 14th in both practices. P9, I'm going to go with the first Ferrari, Carlos Sainz. He finished P8 in Bahrain and P5 in Imola. However, he was P9 in FP1, which is where I kind of expect him to be, just off Leclerc really. And P4 though in FP2, so he did show some pace in the car. P8, I'm going to go Pierre Gasly, DNF'd in the first race, P7 in Imola, so I think he'll be comfortably in the top 10. He did finish P6 in FP1, just outside the top 10 though in FP2 in 11th. P7 now, I'm going to go with Lando Norris. He did finish 4th in Bahrain and 3rd in Imola, which is some great results for him, great points for the team. However, I just can't see him replicating that this week. He was P8 in FP1 and P12 in FP2. P6, I'm going to go Ricciardo, Norris's teammate. Still haven't quite got to grips with the McLaren, but he still scored decent points, 7th and 6th. He was P12 in FP1 and P8 in FP2. Valtteri Bottas, I'm going to go 5th. He was 3rd in his first race, which was to be expected really, behind Verstappen and Hamilton. But he DNF'd in his second race at Imola, which obviously we all know with that incident with Russell. He was 1st in FP1 and 3rd in FP2, so he has shown decent pace, but I just can't see him replicating that in the race, or maybe not even qualifying. P4, I'm going to go Charles Leclerc, P6 in his first race, P4 in Imola. I'd expect that from a Ferrari really, not really challenging Mercedes or Red Bull, but there always seems to be maybe McLaren or Aston Martin and Alpine, so I see him heading the pack. He was 4th in FP1 and 7th in FP2. P3 now, I'm going to go with Sergio Perez. He was 5th in Bahrain and 11th in Imola, which don't really look good results, but he has been unlucky with his car breaking down on the way to the grid in Bahrain. He spun in Imola at the closing stages, picked up a penalty in Imola for regaining positions in the safety car. He just hasn't really gone well, but it does feel a different feeling around Perez than there was with Albon, so hopefully his results will pick up. He was P3 in FP1 and P10 in FP2. Max Verstappen, I'm going to go 2nd. He was finished 2nd in the first race, 1st in the second race at Imola, and he's finished P2 in both FP1 and FP2, despite having a brake problem in FP2. Completed the least amount of laps with only 26, but he still had the pace in his Red Bull that may challenge the Mercs and his teammate. And then P1, I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton. He's finished 1st in the Bahrain and 2nd in Imola. Obviously he had that incident with Russell when he was trying to go lap him, but it was Hamilton's fault. Russell had nowhere to go, and if he didn't have enough pressure on him now, Russell. And then I'm going to go with, he also finished P5 in FP1 and then 1st in FP2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell and like the video. See you in the next one.